Hello, my name is Jo Matthews and I would like to tell you about my recent illness and dramatic recovery using cannabis oil. I have never been blessed with good health. For years I have suffered from and been on medication for angina, osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing spondylitis, depression, insomnia, hypertension and atherosclerosis. Then, 3 years ago, I developed pleurisy, which led to a diagnosis of emphysema. My breathing was getting worse. I developed a constant cough, and my energy levels were getting lower and lower. I found it hard to get about, and I started using a stick when I went out. A spirometry test indicated that I had the lung age of a 90-year-old. And my doctor assessed that I had an exercise tolerance of just 10 paces. I had just got used to feeling sick all the time. Then, to make matters considerably worse, my breathing had got so bad I was rushed into A&E and was told that I had severe pneumonia. I was drowning in my own lung liquid. A biopsy was done which indicated the fluid was cancerous. This was a secondary cancer. Then they found the primary. In January 2014, I was diagnosed with stage 4 primary peritoneal cancer with a gigantic malignant pleural effusion. Peritoneal cancer is a death sentence. It is classed as incurable and it always comes back. If you Google malignant pleural effusion, you will see that the average survival time is just 4 months. I could not breathe. I was in a lot of pain and I was scared I was going to die. I spent 10 days in intensive care and endured an agonising lung drain. They took over 9 litres of cancerous fluid out of my left lung. I had lost over 2 stone from cachexia, which is cancer-related induced malnutrition. I was sent home with maximum dose of morphine and told to put my affairs in order while the doctors figured out what to do with me. I was told I wasn't eligible for an operation because the cancer was too big and my lungs weren't fit enough to cope with the anaesthesia. A blood test revealed I had a tumour marker of 1,535. The morphine was making me confused, affecting my personality, and it wasn't even touching the pain. It was the worst time of my family's lives. I was going downhill fast. I was dying. My family mobilised and started researching alternative cancer cures. I changed my diet and started taking supplements and juicing organic fruits and vegetables. My youngest daughter got me on cannabis oil within 3 weeks of diagnosis. The day I started taking it, I stopped deteriorating. My appetite came back immediately and my pain went down. Within 3 days, I had cut my morphine in half and started to sleep better. Within a week, I had weaned myself off all morphine, tramadol, statins and blood pressure pills. I was still very ill, but I was not so scared and I started to feel like myself again. The light in my eyes came back and my personality returned as I was no longer relying on morphine. Then I started chemotherapy, which made me feel awful, so I upped my dose of oil. It helped to control the nausea, allowed me to eat normally, and I didn't get any infections. My breathing improved as the remaining fluid in my lungs cleared. As the chemo went on, I began to feel worse and worse, so I continued increasing the quantities of oil which alleviated the symptoms. At the same time, my arthritis cleared up. Arthritis had plagued me for years. A painful complication called trigger thumb, which I needed an operation for on both hands, simply went away. I no longer needed the operation. An irregular mole on my face fell off. My fear decreased. An abscess I had underneath my tooth that the dentist couldn't treat because I was on chemo went away and I kept my tooth. Halfway through the chemo, I was given a break from it to prepare for the operation. I then had my second CT scans and blood tests. When the results came back, everyone, including the doctors, were amazed. My tumour markers had dropped from 1,535 to 36 in 5 weeks. 2 massive tumours had shrunk to 2 little lumps. I was getting better. I went ahead with the operation to remove my ovaries, fallopian tubes and the remaining cancer. The operation was a success despite the recovery being very painful. I kept taking the oil throughout, however, and decided during this time to refuse the rest of my chemo. In June 2014, I was given the all clear. I went from stage 4 to no cancer in just 5 months. My tumour marker has continued to drop and is now at just 14. A person who has never had cancer can have a tumour marker up to 35 and can be considered normal. My latest visit to the doctors confirmed that my lungs are clear, all my organs are fine, and I have the blood pressure of a 20-year-old. Last month I walked home from my son's house with no stick. He lives 2 miles away. My arthritis no longer bothers me. I take a fraction of the medication I used to, and despite still having emphysema, I no longer have a chronic cough, and I don't need a stick anymore. I would be dead by now if it wasn't for the cannabis oil. I'm absolutely sure of it. It's outrageous that cannabis oil is illegal. This is a human rights issue. We need the law to be changed. It is outdated and immoral. Cannabis needs to be downgraded from a Schedule 1 substance, meaning it has no medicinal value, to a Schedule 2 immediately. Here in the UK, it's already being sold as an extract under the name Sativex, making money for the British company called GW Pharmaceuticals. This is so hypocritical. Why does my daughter have to be involved in the black market, risking a criminal record and possible jail time to provide me with the medicine that saved my life? This is the world's most medicinal plant that has been used for thousands of years with not one single fatality. And it's illegal. People are dying because of our inadequate healthcare system, and this needs to stop. I am living proof that cannabis oil works. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it can be of use to some of you. Thank you.
Basically, we've been slightly lying to you. Yes, we have been lying to you. Carry on walking, Mother. There's been a small lie.
A small lie. This is where Louis has a place.
Oh, wow. Really?
The way that it's in.
What does that say at the top?
Oh, Humboldt!
Surprise!
Let the evening commence.